Hey everybody, welcome to my channel, The Ivy's Grove, and I am Kel, and I'm going to be bringing up something that I saw this morning that I want to do a response to, or VR per se, as well as show you a couple things. A little show and tell, nothing major, and before I do, I had a great time on Friday night with Abby the Witch on the panel of the Lefthand Path, and me and Bonnie, I believe, were the only two that were not on the Lefthand Path. The other four, all. And Abby is. I've been subscribed to Abby's channel since last summer of last year. Uh, I'm sorry, Friday was her a new thing she's doing called a Witch's Alley, and the first episode was Left-Hand Path. She sent out a thing if anybody wanted to join to hit her up, and you didn't have to. You don't. This is she's doing this for all types of paths. So even if you like, say with the Left-Hand Path, as she was talking, uh, she uh, you didn't have to be in the Left-Hand Path to be in the panel or to be on uh, the live stream when you're commenting. And I learned a lot. And The people in the panel was obviously Abby. She's the host of her channel, as well as this new thing she's doing. Then we had Jasmine Ambrosia, uh, whose uh, whose channel is her channel on YouTube is Jasmine Ambrosia. Angela of Sanctuary Santanica. I've come across her channel a couple times, but I'm more on her Instagram. I tend to be on her more of her Instagram. She tends to post more, it seems, on Instagram. Really like her. Conjure Cutie. I guess she doesn't have a YouTube channel or what have you, but there's no link to any of her sites. Uh, I guess her and Jasmine in know each other. I'll just put that to you that way. Uh, let's see, Bonnie from the Vonniness. I've come across her YouTube channel a couple times. Her channel is the Vonniness. Uh, I like her stuff. She was also on Wine and Witchcraft about budgeting witchcraft and not too long ago. Uh, sh- so she was a fellow non left-hand path, but she found out that she kind of has a little bit of left-hand path, so that she didn't realize until after she was in the panel after a while. And last but not least is Victoria of the Witch of Bees and Bones. That's her YouTube channel as well as her Instagram. And I had a great time. I learned some stuff. Come to find out, I kind of had a funny feeling anyway before the live stream, that I think I'm leaning towards the left-hand path, and but more with the horn guard, but more like Soninus and Pan, um, more nature-like. I know Satan has a bad rap and everything. Satanist has a bad rap. I know left-hand path and Lucifer and Satan go hand in hand, but you don't have to. So I think I'm going to be one of those, it seems. So if you haven't watched it, watch it. So, and Jasmine got a little excited when I brought up something. So, but yeah, so that was a fun one. I learned a lot. I answered a couple questions to my, you know, from the person from the from the outside looking in. So yeah, shout out to Abby the Witch and doing that, and I am so looking forward. She's gonna be doing more the Witch's Alley with panels and guests and all that. So I'm really looking forward to that in the future. So I'm really excited for her for that. Next thing is I saw this morning. I saw Leanne's from Leanne's Witchy Room doing this, and it was a it was a response to Bonnie from the Voniness about daily practice and consistency. And I know Leanne brought up about make a comment if you do daily practice. She likes to hear other people's, so I figured I'll make a video on it on my take on daily practice. That this has been a hot button for a good couple of years. Like when I say a couple of years, I'm thinking 2 or 3 years, not a couple of years like 5. Um, Seems to be buzzing, and I think the whole thing of daily practice came about was there's been some other YouTubers 3, 4 years ago who started about how daily practice can be good, and one of them that really pops in my mind is Nike, the Warrior Witch. I thought she did a good video on it. She explains why daily practice is good and good for you. And I think at the time it was her. I know Olivia from The Witch of Wonderlust did one. I think Temperance Alden did one, and I think Georgina Rose. Them four a couple years ago did. They kind of bounced. They had slightly different versions of what daily practice and how it's could be healthy. And I agree in that aspect because at that time, and I've been seeing a lot of new witches coming in and they don't know what to do and coming to witchy Facebook groups and commenting on YouTube channels and how do I do this? What can I do? And da da da. And people are saying daily practice, and there's a lot of people that's saying no, I don't have time. I disagree of not the person not having any time. If you have time, even if it's 5 to 10 minutes a day, to even light a tea candle while you get ready for work, and tea light candles last only for a short time. If you have time to let it go until it goes off by itself, great. If you have time for a good half an hour to 40 minutes and you can blow it out or snuff it, that's good too. I think daily practice is good in a way. You could do it as simple as giving yourself a relaxing bath at the end of the day. Kind of bouncing off of Jasmine and Ambrosia's thing about self-care. Um, but for a spiritual sense, like I can give you my example. When I was living in Connecticut, I got up out of bed. My shift starts at 7, and I lit a tea light candle with certain herbs for the goddess Bridget. Lit that. I would get it prepared the night before. The next morning, I get up. First thing I do before I get dressed, with my PJs on, I light that candle. I sit there for a couple minutes, setting my thoughts, but setting my day, and I go get dressed or take a shower. I know what people are gonna say. Oh my God, it's a candle. It's a candle. Something happens. Yes, things can happen, but if you put it in a fireproof bowl, you're fine. Just a little bit safe to hear. Uh, I go now. There were times where I told her I'd take a shower first and then I go light it. Sometimes I've done that. Excuse me, I got sneeze. Allergies. Excuse me. So, so I think the whole thing with daily practice is more like taking care of your spiritual health. Your spiritual. It's kind of like where you have to take vitamins every morning for your health, for your physical health. I think daily practice is a form of that. I think daily practice is good if can be a good thing when, say for instance, you work with the moon energies. I work with the moon energies, and there are times where I do it for like a half a month or a month for a good couple months, and then I take a pause. I still have that daily practice in the morning to light a candle spiritually. So I'm still doing something spiritually. Do you have to do it every day? No. You do it every other day? Fine. You do it twice a week? Cool. Do it once a week? Cool. You do it twice a month? Cool. Um, you know, that's a daily practice. That's still a daily practice. When it comes to um what's the word I'm looking for? I just saw a video about it. Not mental health. Uh not special not special needs. It's something oh my god, I'm so sorry guys. It's who physically, who has like chronic pain, health wise, what have you. Even if it's lighting an incense with a certain oath or a certain intention that you're working for, that you do every other day, or once a week, that's still daily practice. You know, um, you know, I I see a lot of people on Facebook groups, and I'm seeing, and that are wanting us to take them by the hand and give them all everything. I'm gonna go a little bit on, you know, and it's like every time we tell them what they need to do, it's like they don't like it. They want something else. And, oh, well, I can't do daily practice because of this. I can't do daily practice because of that. Oh, I can't do once a month on the full moon because of this. Like, really, you don't do everything. Sorry, you don't do your spiritual practice for a whole month. You get to the full moon and you can't do that. I'm hearing more excuses than doing. And so that's my little tangent on that one. Um, let's see what else. I love Leanne's um where she says that she goes she says she used to try it. She used to try to do a daily practice, and she kept falling. Like, she'll try to do a daily practice almost every day, and you know, and what she found she did, and of course she always been like, oh my god, I feel bad. That's the other thing, guys. If you're trying and you're trying and then you forget and you get tired, you get this, and you're not into it, that's okay. Like, that's fine. that is fine. Okay. And one of the things I like what Leanne said, because she says she should try to do a daily practice, where she does a daily practice for a while, like 3 weeks, a month or two, something like that, and then she, she just doesn't do it. She kind of lost interest. She doesn't have the inspiration anymore and everything else. It's like she takes a pause, and then she stops for a while, and then after a while, something comes up. You know, she gets inspired again, and she does it again, and that's fine too. Like that's fucking cool, and that's what's working for her. If daily practice isn't your thing, that's not your thing. As long as you try, I think what I'm getting with my little vent is I'm seeing so many people go, well, I can't do a daily practice. Well, have you tried it? And yes, there's a point where in your life where you know yourself. Like you know yourself. You know yourself. Like, yeah, this is gonna work for me because I have other things that works for me in my spiritual path where the daily practice isn't gonna be able to fit in. And that's where it's like you've been doing your spiritual you've been doing this for a while. I'm sorry, but not 6 months, not a year, not you know. Um, I'm sorry. I've been seeing the last like 5 years just excuses of not doing the walk. You know, sorry. Anyway, I love Bonnie's take on it. Um, she says at the end of the day, she goes, "It's not for me." At the end of it, she goes, "It's not for me." And that's fucking cool too. I think a lot of people think of daily practice as doing it every single day, this big elaborate thing, and it doesn't have to be elaborate. It doesn't have to be every day. It could be every other day. It could be once a week. It could be twice a week. It could be 4 times a week every other week. It could be 4 times a month, which is once a week. It could be as simple as lighting a tea light candle with certain herbs, with a element that you feel closely linked with, on top of your spell walks and stuff that you do later on in the month. You know. Um. So yeah, that's my little take on daily practice. I think it could be a healthy thing. I don't think it's BS. I don't think it's bullshit. And just because it doesn't work for you doesn't mean it's bullshit. It just isn't for you, and that's fine. As long I like other witches where they have tried it and they said, yeah, this is not for me. I just don't like it when there's people who there's nothing wrong with them and they just won't do the fucking work and they won't even try. And I think that's what irritates me. It's like not everything's easy, not everything's free. You got to work with it. You have to work for it. So that's my little thing. And we will end it with a couple little things. Yesterday, my husband and I went to a town that's about 40 minutes away from my house. And I took him to this town. We stopped at this witch store. Found a couple, found one or two things I want for Christmas. One of them I was able to point it out for my husband. He's like, okay. And that would be great on my altar. And then I didn't buy anything in the witchy store. Didn't buy anything at all. We went in there twice, two different occasions, twice. Like one right in the beginning after the antique store, and then we went walking around the other stores, and then we got lunch. The restaurant had a door that went through to that same witchy store, which is cool. So I'm like, yeah, let's go back in there. Went back in there, walked around a little bit, saw something else I wanted for Christmas. Never got a chance to point it out to him. Who knows? I might get it for my birthday month. I don't know. But so we got a something we needed. We needed a cheese grater where it's one of those ones. It's like a long. cube thing, long cube, and you just hold it down. You hold it down and you scrape food, zucchini, cheese, what have you, potatoes, or hash browns. We have one, but it's like near the end of its rope. And it's funny because I think we traveled with it the last two places where it's really on its last leg. So we got that for $4 at an antique store. And then I got these two, a plate and a bowl. Great for sun energy. And the thing with me is that yellow, I just I don't consider yellow as air. I consider yellow as a fire. And in order for me to work with yellow, I have to use it with a complemented color like red, orange, or a complemented meaning of a color. So in certain herbs, like with a candle, I can't just write something down and focus on what I need and add a little bit of oil. I have to like add an oil for what I'm going for that yellow, plus 2 to 3 herbs in order for that color to work. It's weird. It's odd. It's just how it is. You know. So yeah, I mean air. I mean I like air. Air is like air is my third favorite element. And but when it comes to like to me, when it comes to color for air, it's either light blue or it's gray. So yeah. So yep. I was just gonna grab this, and then my husband saw these, and he goes, "Oh yeah, oh yeah, babe, look at these." I'm like, "Yeah, it's the same thing with this one. It's right next to the bowl." He goes, "Oh yeah," and I grabbed this one. These were like $1.99 each, so not too shabby. And then I got a book a couple weeks ago at Barnes and Nobles. I've been eyeing on this since we got here, and I snatched it up, and it's the spirit of the Celtic gods and goddesses, their history, magical power, and healing energies. And it's by Carl McColman and Catherine Hines, and it's forward by Courtney Weber, author of Bridget, History, Mystery, and Magic of the Celtic Goddesses. And there's a part one in this book on the contents is part one, introduction. Chapter 1 is Entering the Other World. Chapter 2 is an overview of the Celtic tradition. Chapter 3, what this book does and doesn't do. Part 2 is Goddesses and Heroines. So Chapter 4 is the Mother's Threefold Soul of the Earth. Chapter 5 is Anu and the River Goddesses. Chapter 6, Bridget, the Exalted One. Chapter 7, the Morrigan, the Phantom Queen. Chapter 8, Mab, She Who Intoxicates. Chapter 9, Maka, Goddess of Many Lives. I think Mab and Maka. It seems like the Morrigan seems to be in the spotlight more than Maka and Mab, and I'm glad these two are in it. Chapter 10. These next chapter 10 and chapter 12, they're having a rise, but it's slow. Number 10 is Rhiannon, the Great Queen. Chapter 11 is Caradwyn, Keep of the Cauldron. Chapter 12, which is one that's slowly starting to have its spotlight, is Erenwar, the Lady of the Wheel. Part 3 is The Gods and Heroes. Chapter 13, Croninus, Master of the Hunt, Horn God. Chapter 14, I'm so excited for this one. The Dagda, the Big Father. He's another one that doesn't have a lot of spotlight, so I'm glad he's on here. Chapter 15, Menanan and Madodin, Lords of the Mist. I do not speak Celtic. I am very sorry. Chapter 16, Lug and Lu, Gods of Strength and Skill. Angus, the Young Lover. The Hound of Ulster, which is Chullainn. Chapter 19, Gwydion, the trickster magician. Oh yeah, he's a trickster, right? He has tricked Aaron Rod. I will not be working with him. Um, Aaron Rod I've been reading up on for a long time. I think I'm about due to work with her very, very soon. Hence why I picked this book up. But I will not be working with Gwydion. Chapter 20, Bran, the guardian of the land. Chapter 21, Taliesin, the divine poet. Part 4 is goddesses and gods in our lives. So chapter 22 is the mysteries and the virtues. Chapter 23 is putting devotion into practice. Chapter 24 is storytelling and the living tradition. And then you got afterword for 2020 edition. Take your journey further, recommend listening, and the Celtic Fire Festival's chapter notes and bibliography. There's 237 pages. That includes the bibliography. Um, Up to chapter 4 with the goddesses and gods in our lives is 209. So, um, yeah, so it's like key features of each of the major Irish, Welsh, and continental Celtic deities, how to create rituals and magical work appropriate for each deity, how to relate the various gods and goddesses to the Sabbaths and holy days. So yeah, this is yeah, this is it's not nice little size book. So, and then the other one I think I brought this up at the beginning of the year of one of my books I want to be looking at. I'm gonna be looking at. I just started to really look at this literally yesterday, so I'm gonna be continuing it more. I have an idea of a couple exercises back then. I'm gonna be looking through it again to see if it's still gonna use them. And that's this book, Elemental Witchcraft. A Wired Woman's Book of Shadows by Sally Crow. And you can tell it's a pretty thick side by side here. It's a pretty thick book. It's massive. And this is pretty much like A Book of Shadows is a witch's sacred journal filled with personal experiences and the intimate working of spells. In this practical guide to elemental witchcraft, Sally Crow invites you into her personal book of shadows, detailing hands-on techniques, spells, and rituals to work with the magic of the four elements: water, earth, air, and fire. She presents teachings on each element through the lens of different schools of magic such as divination, healing, protection, manifestation, and enchantment. Within each of these elemental teachings is a series of progressive lessons, including a personal story from the author's lifetime of magical practice paired with a technique for you to explore. For the Water Witch, she explores scrying, engaging with the Undines, weather protection, fairy glamour, and healing with kitchen spells. For the Earth Witch, she describes reading the bones, animal messengers, listening to plants, crystal grids, and shadow work. For the Air Witch, she looks at communicating with sylphs and crows, divination through clouds and wind, sonic magic, and healing. Spell accelerates, excuse me, and smudging. For the Fire Witch, she examines the dungeon, the magical health. For fire divination, candle work, and sex magic. For all the elements, she explores how to build elemental altars and customize the ceremonies and rituals. So yeah, the one I'm really looking through is Fire Witch. I consider myself more fire with earth and then air. Water's not my thing, but I do work with it here and there. I do work some. Like I work with mirrors. I do like when I do my showers, I do a cleansing or a charging depending on what day I do my showers. Um, but um, but she has some stuff in water um, that really intrigues me that I think I'm gonna try out. And, you know, so yeah, water is my least thing, but I know it's there. It's there. I use it, but I don't use it heavily as I do with fire and earth and air. So, and I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. That's it for today. So I will see you guys soon, and I'm starting to get I'm divvying some stuff, right, and divvying some stuff some objects to do a video. Um, it has to do with prosperity and abundance that again not a lot of people talk about. And until then, till we meet again, I will talk to you soon and later.